Right, there's a lot of questions and concerns coming out of China, and who better to give the answers to this than the Kenyan ambassador to China, that's Sarah Serem. I spoke to her earlier and began by asking her, the pictures and videos we see on social media circulating about Africans on the streets, are they really true? And if they're true, are there Kenyans involved?
Habari Kenya, I want to tell you, I have also been seeing the same on social media, and I am more concerned with my Kenyans. So I reached out to check whether any of my Kenyans are the ones appearing on social media and on the scripts that we've seen going around. But we haven't received not one single case of Kenyan that has been in the streets. Apparently, some of those doing the rounds, some are old cases, others may be fresh cases, yes, but absolutely not the Kenyans.
Okay, that's good news that they're not Kenyans. Let's go straight, cut to the chase, Ambassador. And we have been given the date of May 1st as the day that Kenyans will be coming back to Kenya, especially those Kenyans who are interested in coming back to the country. Is this confirmed information that indeed there will be a flight from China to Nairobi on that day?
There is a suggested date, but the fact of the matter is, these are people that require a lot of preparation before they depart. We have communicated that information to the Kenyans that are interested in going. And indeed, we've been in touch with them since the issue of the virus came in. But they are too saying, fast is too soon. We cannot be able to get all the necessary documentations for us to be ready to leave on fast. And we are in consultation, of course, with the headquarters. And this was simply but a suggested date.
Okay.
I am sure once we, because that will be dependent on when everybody else that has registered to leave will have all his papers or her papers ready. All
right. So far, how many Kenyans do you have within the Republic of China that you're taking care of? And if at all they would all want to come back home, what is your estimation of the amount of resources that might be needed in terms of even how many flights out of China that might be needed to come back home, if at all you look at the general numbers of the Kenyans you have in China?
Yeah, by the way, Ken, majority of our diasporans are students. And these are students who are ongoing with classes. If you remember, we had a team in Wuhan who are on lockdown during the crisis of the COVID-19 when it started off. And the students are ongoing. Some of them had already gone home. So majority of those who are legally here have absolutely no reason to go back home. And they are ongoing with their own activities.
Okay.
So the number that we will be talking about are those who have no papers. There are a few who have papers because of the numbers that we have registered. We asked them, those who want to go home. As of yesterday or this morning, we had 171 people.
Okay.
Out of that 71, 112 have invalid papers.
Okay.
For the 112 to leave, it means there is need for a process because China will have to issue what we call exit visa. And the exit visa is not issued on the ground as you're moving out. They got to have an advanced preparation so that they can issue the papers before they leave. So that needs a bit of time. Of course, we are engaging and consulting with the headquarters so that we get the right date for departure.
In other words, Ambassador, what you're telling us tonight is that the May 1st date is unrealistic. And secondly, even if it was a realistic date, it will need a lot of preparations before we can see these Kenyans land at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
Absolutely, absolutely. That needs a bit of time.
A bit of time.
I don't think the first date, I don't think first is a date that is fixed. I think it's a suggested date. And that will obviously be dependent on when the team that is to be evacuated is ready.
Okay. The amount of money that we've also seen floated out there, that each Kenyan who's coming home will need at least 80,000 shillings to get into that flight. Is that something that you would also want to confirm if it's true or not?
The negotiated rate, the usual rate is between 1,200 one way.
Okay.
But the government has negotiated rate to $750.
Okay.
This is what is expected of those that have registered. And indeed, it's on the basis, on account of that, that people have registered to exit China, for those who are interested in exiting.
Okay, which is a negotiated rate. Now that you're talking about the government negotiating this, you as the ambassador of Kenya in China, and of course the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here, and the national government is taking a lot of heat from Kenyans who are saying, why can't just the government get its people out of these locations in the diaspora and look at how to sort out this matter later in terms of payment for the airlines? Why don't we send one of our 787 to Beijing to pick these people and bring them back to the country? Why don't you pay for them, even from the funds that have been sent for the interventions regarding COVID-19? Why is it that the Kenyans who are desperate have to pay for this money, Ambassador?
I think that is something that needs to be considered in a bigger picture. All countries are facing something that has never happened before. We're talking about a crisis that is globally felt. Kenya is not in isolation. They are facing the same crisis. And at this point in time, you're talking about fighting the virus, ensuring that there's provision for medical attention. But that aside, you're talking about over 1,000 Kenyans in China. And literally, I want to believe in all other global look, you're talking about India, you're talking about US and all that. And it would probably take Kenya quite an amount of money to evacuate, or rather to transport all those of the Kenyans that are outside the country. So I guess this is something that has to be viewed between fighting the virus and bringing those that are outside to come back home. Of course, it would be my interest to ensure that my Kenyans that are in China go home. It is something that I would desire, even as I look at the needs that these Kenyans are facing at this point in time. But we have to be extremely realistic. I wish it was possible, but we have to be extremely realistic then. And the realistic point here is it possible that the government can evacuate everybody across the globe?
All right. And just finally, Ambassador, the Kenyan students that were supposed to be beneficiaries to the money that was sent by the Kenyan government, we had complaints about 3 weeks ago that they hadn't received that money wholesome the way they expected. There was an explanation from from the ambassador's office about this disbursement. What is the status of these students now with that money that was sent to them? Have they received it, and these complaints, have they ceased?
Ken, we are the ones who established the need for a fund. And we established the need based on what we observed as the undertakings within Wuhan. And we said it is necessary to supplement some of the costs that have escalated because of the virus. The situation is anticipated that it will take about 6 months. And it was not possible for us to receive a fund and pay it wholesome. So all that we have been doing is sending the students on a monthly basis a stipend of about 15,000 each for those who are living in the university hostels, and 2,000 RMBs, which is equal to about 30,000 for those living outside.
Ambassador Sarah Serem speaking to us live from the Republic of China on what's happening to our students, and of course Kenyans were supposed to be brought back home, and of course saying that the date proposed as fast is not cast in stone, is still under discussion.